Hello there everyone, Alex here with Lucksack Games, and we're going to go ahead and play a league with Invention turns. So the main idea of the deck is that we're a turns deck, but we're not playing Dictative Crewfix, but instead we're using Narset and Jace the Mind Sculptor to get our extra draws, and Wheel of Fate and Ancestral Vision, which we can cast off Fires of Invention, and we can cast off this As Foretold. We also have Days Undoing. Days Undoing combos with Narset to give us a new hand while leaving our opponent with no card. Alright, so we lost the die roll against an opponent that's called That's Just Prime. Curious if they're a Primeval Titan deck. So as we look at our opening hand, it's pretty rough. We have double Mystic Sanctuary. We have a Savor the Moment. We do have Gemstone Caverns, but I just don't think we can keep this one. Alright, I think this one's a keep. We have 3 lands, Simian Spirit Guide, Fires of Invention, Time Warp. All we're looking for is either a Narset or a Jace. See what we can draw into. Looks like opponent's on Death Shadow. Makes the first hand seem a little more appealing all of a sudden, but hey, you know, not much you can do about it. We're losing Fires of Invention here, almost certainly. Maybe Time Warp. If they take Time Warp, we really aren't doing anything with Fires, but we'll see. They might just be on the plan of take Simian Spirit Guide and kill us before turn 4. Death Shadow is a very fast deck. They do take the Fires of Invention. Alright, let's take our draw step. It is a Time Warp. And we'll pass turn. We're going to fetch a tap Steam Vents at the end of the turn. So the opponent does here. Wow, doesn't look like they have double Death Shadow, so that's a good start for us. We're going to fetch tap land and take our turn. Another Simian Spirit Guide. Well, we would have really been able to cast that Fires of Invention quite a bit earlier if we hadn't had it thought seized away from us. So that's a little unfortunate. Looks like the opponent's on a Gurmag Angler plan. Looks like they'll be casting that probably one more card in the grave. That'll do it too. A little unfortunate the other version has Remand instead of Simian Spirit Guides, which would have been way better against this Gurmag Angler. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and fetch another tap land because we're looking to draw some business spells and pass it a turn. Ooh, As Foretold's a good thing to get down. Let's go ahead and get it down. So I'm going to grab Island and cast As Foretold. And pass turn. So now we're hoping to draw Narset find a Wheel effect. That would be ideal. That being said, opponent having this kind of a start makes me feel like they have multiple Stubborn Denials. So we'll see if that's true. Alright, we're always going to yield to the As Foretold. Island, there's a pretty reasonable draw. I think we're just casting Simian Spirit Guide here as a blocker and getting turns on our As Foretold since we have such powerful draws we can draw into. Simian Spirit Guide does not die to Fatal Push. Is a 3-drop. Is a proud 3-drop monkey. Huh. Don't block here. I attack for 2. Hey. Alright, so unfortunately there's not a world that we race back with these monkeys. They still win that race. Counter on this. I think if we draw a land here, they're pretty likely to have multiple stubborn denials. Did. Alright, so I'm definitely going to Simian Spirit Guide out this Time Warp and target us. And if it gets countered, that's fine. If it doesn't, I'm going to Polluted Delta and put it back on top. Alright, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to pass the turn. Alright, found another land. It does mean 5 cards in their hand are spells. That's not too ideal for us. Alright, this fetch is free, but the next one kills us, so... Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary is going to put Time Warp back on top. We're going to try and cast it on our turn. Using us. See if it resolves. Would not be surprised to see us get countered. That is totally understandable. So here's what we're hoping to run into. So all the play patterns thus far have been pretty standard for Death Shadow. We're hoping they don't have Bolt because they did find red mana now. And assuming that we get to untap again and they don't have a counter spell, we're hoping to rip into Ancestral Recall, Jace, Narset. We have so many good draws. Assuming they don't have counter spells, of course. Which, once again, based on how slow they developed a threat, is pretty likely. Alright, so there's an Narset. I think we cast her first, because I think they're pretty likely to counter her. Round in the wall. It's Controller's Graveyard. Alright, well we have 7, so that would have countered it either way. Alright, let's Time Warp ourselves and hope it resolves. It does. Alright, so we're going to get another turn. And we die. Alright, we're going to die by our own hand. Boink. Let's go to sideboard. So our opponent is a Blood Moon deck, or a deck that Blood Moon's very strong against. Being in the Ice is also super reasonable. I don't think Days Undoing does very much since they commit a threat pretty early. I'm going to go ahead and cut apart the Water Veil. Some of these Temporal Masteries. Gosh, it's pretty good if we can get it down pretty fast. I think we actually cut some number of these Time Warps. Just try and do it like that. It's hard to A plus B combo against Death Shadow because they're the deck that kind of designed to take your deck apart. Eventually we should be cutting Simian Spirit Guides for that basis. But I like that they counter soft steps. Very likely one of our worst matchups. So let's see if we can hopefully win this next game on the play. An ideal world where we get a fast Narset down that lives, we get to, as foretold, into a Wheel of Fate. Well, not, I guess, yeah. We would like to play first. So what does this hand do? This hand draws one more land. So close, but I think this one's a mulligan. Alright, well, We're not going to live long enough to see this Wheel of Fate come off a suspend, so I think this is a mulligan again, which is pretty rough against Death Shadow. So let's go ahead and go to 5 and see what our 5 looks like. Also mulligans, we got mulligan again. We don't love Gemstone Caverns on the play, but this hand is fine. I think I'm bottoming Fires of Invention Thing in the Ice here. And hoping that Jace is good enough to kind of get there. So we go turn 2 Thing in the Ice, hopefully turn 3 Jace the Mind Sculptor. Ideally it would be Jace the Mind Sculptor bounce the Gurmag Angler they tapped out for. Cycle Street Wraith. Thought sees us. Might be Inquisition too. It's Inquisition, so we're losing Thing in the Ice. Down in the Simian Spirit Guide, we still can't cast Jace because Gemstone Caverns only produces colorless. Good take by the opponent. Alright, so we want to mask that island draw because that tells the opponent that we can cast Jace next turn. So we're just going to go ahead and play Gemstone Caverns and pass. So the opponent likely will tap out for a Gurmag Angler here if they have the means to do so. And in doing so, they've enabled us to hopefully Jace bounce it. See what they've got. Thought Scour here enables the Gurmag Angler. It's 1/1 Death Shadow. Simian Spirit Guide here. Oof. I don't think we can afford to get Jace soft stabbed. So I don't think we get to cast it this turn. I think we actually just have to wait till next turn, which is real unfortunate. Another Death Shadow. Not ideal, not ideal. Alright, let's go ahead and cast Jace. Jace resolves. I think we have to brainstorm. Alright, here's some stuff. Put Simian Spirit Guide. Saving the moment on top, and pass turn. If this Jace survives, we can actually save in the moment enough times that we get to bounce both Death Shadows. Open dodge fetch land here, Thoughtseize, anything that can make them lose life. Mishra's Bauble does not make them lose life. That's a pretty good start. So I've looked at the top card of our library and see that it's a savor the moment. Looking like we might be able to untap with this Jace, which is a pretty good spot to be. Opponent attacks with both Jace. Fine. And it's our turn. Angler now? Now they're playing an Angler? That'd be pretty good for us. Alright, opponent's not going to do that. We're going to draw. We're going to uptick Jace. Looking at their library. Yes, we'd like to put Polluted Delta on the bottom. We're going to try and savor the moment. And then this should resolve. We're going to suspend Ancestral Vision. Alright, so it'll be our next turn. We want to untap our lands. We'll bounce one of the Death Shadows and hope that they don't draw a way to lose life again. That we're hoping to dodge a way to lose life. Brutish Brainstorm again? I think so. Okay, drawing a fetch line there was pretty good. I think we put these two back. Play a Polluted Delta and pass the turn. And we're almost certainly fetching. So we're hoping that they don't draw a way to lose life here. We did bottom a Polluted Delta. Sending all attacks at Jace. Jace goes to 1. Alright, so I don't think we want to necessarily savor the moment yet, so we're just going to go ahead and yield to this and draw a card. So, Narset. See if they let Narset resolve. They might have a negate or something. Alright, let's go ahead and minus Narset. I think I take Blood Moon here. Makes it so much harder for them to lose life. I'm so in on that. Now let's go ahead and fetch another blue source. Play Mystic Sanctuary. Put Savor the Moment on top. And then we're going to cast this Blood Moon. With Step and Denial protection. And then we're going to uptick Jace. If we can survive long enough for the Ancestral Visions to come off, I think we'll be in a pretty good place. Also, as a slight upside, Gemstone Caverns will now be able to cast Fires of Invention. Put Flashes and Snapcaster Mage. Pretty good play on their part. I like it, opponent. I dig it. In kind of a ridiculous play, I think this is correct. Otherwise, they just kill Jace and invalidate Narset. Or I take up Jace, and that just doesn't seem like a very good line either. Once again, I think if we can just get this Ancestral Vision to go off, we're going to be in a much better position. Pretty sure we've locked these Death Shadows mainly as 1/1s as well, unless they draw the cycle thing, Street Wraith. They've denied us another card off Narset, which is fine. So what we want to do is draw a wheel off this. We're going to save in the moment, and we're going to hope to draw a wheel. The reason why is because if we draw a wheel effect, our opponent goes to 1 card in hand, and we get a fresh new 7. So we're going to cast this targeting ourselves. Fires of Invention. That's not bad. Unfortunately, Mystic Sanctuary doesn't do anything super special. But we're going to go ahead and cast Fires of Invention. We won't be able to cast any more spells this turn because we already cast, what was it called? Ancestral Recall. But that's fine. The opponent's going to be able to kill Narset, but they only have the 2 1/1s. And once we resolve Thing in the Ice, they'll only be able to attack for 1 a turn. That's not too big of a threat. Okay, we go to 17. Opponent did finally find the Scalding Tarn. Blood Moon just showing off its power though at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and Thing in the Ice. Alright, so we just get to cast these with Fires of Invention, so that's pretty sweet. Cast with Fires of Invention, so we're just going to take another turn, we're just going to yield to this, and let's go to our next turn. So it's our next turn. We draw a Time Warp, so we're going to cast with Fires of Invention and draw 3. We're going to save for the moment. Get an extra turn. Alright, that's good enough for our opponent. Alright. Fires of Invention kind of showing how good it was there. I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 of them. I'm going to bring in Temporal Mastery. I think Temporal Mastery, being Miracled, is one of the ways we can get ahead in this matchup. And being on the draw, I feel like we're a turn too slow. We still have 2 of the Fires of Invention and all 4 of the As Foretold. So I'm very excited that we got a game. Let's see if we can get a whole match against Death Shadow. Oh, that was my phone. Sorry about that. So since our opponent's giving us some time to think about it, is there any change we'd like to make? I think we do want the Temporal Masteries. See what we got. Blood Moon, Narset, As Foretold, Fires of Invocation. Well, this is what you sign up for when you register this deck, so when our opponent Thoughtseize us, they will take away Blood Moon, more than likely. It essentially won us our last game. Sure. Dress is significantly worse than Thoughtseize out of them, so it's pretty good for us. We're hoping to get one of the Suspend cards off the top here. Thing in the Ice is not one of the Suspend cards, but also not a card that I'm upset about drawing. So they're probably hitting us with more discard here. Especially if they have access to Duress, that means that they probably run at least the full 8. Thought Scouring themselves. Bobble. Fetch land. Uh-oh, that one doesn't cast Gormag Angler. That one doesn't cast Gormag Angler at all. Alright, well they targeted me with that, so let's see if they want to Thought Scour me. If so, we will look at what our first card is. Ooh. Haha. They know we're drawing Blood Moon. Okay. That's pretty good for us, so we are definitely Blood Mooning them next turn. Hopefully they don't have a fetch land. And if they keep up Stubborn Denial, I still think that's pretty fine for us. See what they do. Thoughtseize it away. That totally makes sense as well. I think we get down Narset because Fires of Invention basically does the same thing as Foretold, and we can play it the next turn. Simian Spirit Guide would have been pretty good there. Alright, so this turn we're definitely playing Narset. Even if they have days or whatever their Stubborn Denial is, we have to get this down. That's fine. Nope. Next turn we have As Foretold Wheel of Fate to just completely reload. And then once As Foretold's on the battlefield, it kind of gets to run away with the game. Hopefully we draw a land, because we'd actually rather Fires of Invention. Alright, that's fine. So let's As Foretold. See if they have another counterspell. They do not. Let's cast with As Foretold and Wheel of Fate. So unfortunate what we have to discard, but at least we get to draw a bunch. Some pretty good ones to draw. I think I like Shock here. Cast Second Thing in the Ice. As it's also a horror, it won't be bounced by the first thing in the ice. And that'll be the opponent's turn. We also kind of ruined that Mishra's Bauble for them. If they cracked on our turn, they would have had the additional card now. But they couldn't have known that we were about to wheel. We have two things in our hand, opponent. You have to have two Thoughtseizes. If they want a new hand, they take the Vision. I was going to say, if they want to deny us the most cards, they take the other wheel. Alright, so we don't have any other effects, and we no longer bluff Force of Negation, so we just get to yield through our turn here. We draw them into no lands in that new 7? Oh no, there's one. Probably Death Shadow then. Looks like it. Oh no, another Thoughtseize. That's fine. Hope to draw in some more action. If not, then you know what's great? We have Mystic Sanctuaries in our deck. You know what Mystic Sanctuary does? Puts Wheel of Fate back on top of your library. Always yield to As Foretold. Draw something good. Blue Delta is something fine because they can't Thoughtseize the top of our deck, and I can now put the Wheel of Fate on top of our deck. So let's see what the opponent puts down this turn. Death Shadow's pretty good. We played the fetch line they didn't know about on accident, so that they shouldn't Thoughtseize us here. That was our mistake. We should have played a Flood Strand. Alright, they're playing Big Fish out. So during their end step, we're going to fetch Mystic Sanctuary. Best land in the deck, I swear. Wheel of Fate on top. Let's draw Wheel of Fate. Unfortunately, if they have Stubborn Denial, they will be able to stop it, but we have another fetch land to put another one on top as well, so that's pretty good. Alright, so let's go ahead and cast with As Foretold. Always yield to these Thing in the Ice triggers. See if they have the counter spell. Looks like they do. Since they are paying costs. A little unfortunate they have the stubs here. Dismember? Alright. That's not one we're too worried about. Cool, we'll get a new hand here. They will too. Time Warp targeting ourselves. Oh no. Did the opponent really draw it? If they did, that's really, really bad for us. Looks like stubborn denial. It is stubborn denial. Alright, so we do have this temporal mastery. I think we just passed the turn. So we have to block Death Shadow, and if they have Team or Battle Rage, we die. What? Oh no, do they have another Dismember? That just does it too. Alright, well played, opponent. Well played indeed. That was a tight game. Alright, let's move on to our next match with Invention Turns. Definitely showing off the power of Mystic Sanctuary there. And Stubborn Denial. Let's see what our next opponent's on. Hopefully less Thoughtseizes, more mid-rangey red-green things. Titan Shift is an ideal matchup for us. Well, maybe not so much now that we don't have as many counter spells. Let's see what we got. We won the die roll. We would like to be on the play. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this and hope we're playing against Control or something else that's fairly slow. Since I'm going to be, I think I'm actually gonna go fetch a basic here. It's one less damage, and if I have to suspend both of these, it's the best way to go. So suspend Ancestral Vision, it's our opponent's turn. Let's see what our opponent is playing. Snow-Covered Island, Astrolabe. Okay. Well, that's likely the Emery deck, only because it's, in my opinion, one of the best decks in format currently. You know what I think I'm down on? Shocking this in, suspending another Ancestral Vision, and casting a Day's Undoing. Alright, it's the opponent's turn. Maybe they have Force Negation? Oh my god, they do have Force Negation. Alright, they pitch an Opt. Okay, that's fine. Good news is it looks like our Ancestral Visions are going to do some work, though. Additionally, if we draw another island, Mystic Sanctuary can put Day's Undoing back on top. Red and 6 is pretty good here, but it looks like it doesn't have a fetch land to return, which is pretty good for us. As foretold. A little sad this is a tap land. We're going to pass the turn. We are going to cast As Foretold next turn. Unless we draw Narset. We will probably cast Narset instead. It's a little unfortunate they drew the fetch. They may have already had it. But fetch line plus Ren and 6 is pretty powerful. See what they do here. Draw. This does not feel like it's going to resolve. And then it's the opponent's turn. It resolved. Is this a click? Ah, Ice Fang Kitty Cat. That's fine. So it's that Teamer deck. So it's not the Emery deck, it's not likely an Urza deck. Urza plus Astrolabe is kind of sloshable, though, so you never really know. Red and 6 has put in a ton of work already. Alright, let's see if our draws resolve. I do not expect them to. So we're going to put these on the stack, and then we're always going to yield to these. This one's now going to let us draw cards. Well, at least attempt to let us draw cards. Okay, actually let us draw cards. That's great. Okay, so, and we drew a Jace. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So, Mystic Sanctuary targeting Ancestral Vision. Yes. Jace. Jace Brainstorm. Put back on top, put back on top. Ancestral Vision targeting ourselves. And next turn we get to go wild with Fires of Invention. Sweet. Alright, well, good chance Jace dies here somehow. 2 kitty cats, you never know. Did not. That's kind of wild. Okay, well, opponent fetches. Let's see what they play here. We're likely going Fires of Invention into Time Warp here. Alright, so put these on the stack and then try and draw 3 again. So good news, we got a matchup where it looks like these Ancestral Visions were good, just like we asked for. Alright, we drew a bunch of cards. We draw for turn. Our set. We're just going to go ahead and try and do that. See if this Narset resolves. Does. Okay. Did not expect Narset to resolve. Let's exile Simian Spirit Guide and cast this with As Foretold. Going for the Force of Negation here, which makes sense to me. Yep. Let's go and minus the Narset here. Miss. That's a little unfortunate. We can unsummon the Snapcaster Mage, but that kills our Jace. That just seems bad. Go ahead and zero the Jace and then shuffle away the real bad. Oral Mastery, huh? A little late to the show there. Second Fires of Invention. Yes, I'm not putting Temporal Mastery on top to Miracle it. I'd rather shuffle away the really bad cards. Now we're going to lose the mana from the Mana Monkey, but that's fine. See if they kill Narset or Jace here. They can put Narset to 1 and kill Jace, which is what most players go for. Why is there 4-color Snow Control? Alright, so they do kill Jace. Leave Narset alive. An emblem with instant sorcery spells in their graveyard, which they currently have none. Gain flashback. Seems pretty good. Alright, so we're up to 3 counters on the As Foretold, which means it can now cast additional As Foretolds. Ah, they're going to K-Command the Narset. Alright, that's fine. I think we can just discard Island here. Alright, so let's go ahead and time warp, targeting ourselves. Cancel. Yes. Time warp, targeting ourselves. See if this resolves. It does. Cool. Let's go ahead and Mystic Sanctuary. Put it back on top of our library. Yes. And draw 3. Cool. Our hand looks pretty good now. We'll move to our next turn. We'll Mystic Sanctuary. We'll target Ancestral Vision. Yep. Gonna cast Save in the Moment. Cast As Foretold. And cast Fires of Invention. We cast as our last spell of the turn. Because it will stop us from casting other spells otherwise. Alright, let's get our draw 3 on. Cast with Fires of Invention, targeting ourselves. Cast with Fires of Invention, targeting ourselves. Fluid Delta. Fetch to Thin. Because we have all our Mystic Sanctuaries already in play. Just for an island this turn. Alright, next turn. Keep in mind, we still have this Wheel of Fate. The problem is they have a 3 open mana. So if we draw them into something, that's not exactly great for us. So we're going to stack up 2 extra turns here. So Fires of Invention targeting us. Cast with Fires of Invention. We'll move to our next turn. We should be able to still suspend this, but for some reason it's not letting us. That's kind of funny. Suspending is not casting a spell. As Foretold, I don't want that to be one of my spells this turn. So let's go ahead and cast this one first and see what we draw into. Time Warp. Let's go ahead and cast that, targeting ourselves. Since we're getting an extra turn after this one, I think I'm okay with... Oh. Can't cast this. Go ahead and pass to the turn. 2 spells per turn. Fires of Invention has a very real drawback. Jace. Jace is a really good one. We're going to go ahead and cast Jace. Brainstorm with Jace. Part the Water Veil. That one's a really good one. Back 2 Fires of Invention. Blood Strand. We're going to go ahead and fetch. We're going to awaken this Part the Water Veil, and that should be the game. And one more. Boom. I could have attacked with it this turn. Oh well. My bad. Definitely miscounted there. Straw. cast Narset. Cast Savor the Moment. Get an extra turn after this one. Cast, use Jace, draw 3, put 2 back. Alright, that's good enough. Opponent grew bored of watching us kill them. Blood Moon's not very good against the Astrolabe decks, unfortunately. Thing in the Ice not very good against flash threats that have Death Touch. So our main board is pretty much set up the way we're going to have to play it again against them, but they're going to be a little bit better against us game 2. For the record there, the previous line was attack for 6 on the last turn. On that turn, saving the moment, attack for 6, we don't untap, but we use that turn to go ahead and Jace and Narset and reduce their hand to 0 or 1. And after their hand is reduced to 1 card, we get to probably have an extra turn in those last cards. Hand to turn 1, Jace the Mind Sculptor. How do I not keep a hand that's turn 1 Jace the Mind Sculptor? Alright, let's go ahead and put that in. Exile this Ancestral Vision. See what the opponent has. Play an Astrolabe. Please, opponent, play an Astrolabe and don't have a Force of Negation. Please, for the love of God, do not have a Force of Negation. Alright, so we kind of get to feel it out on our turn. Are you auto-yielding, opponent? Doesn't look like they're auto-yielding. We're going to go ahead and cast this Jace. Please resolve. Please resolve, Jace. Oh my god, Jace resolved. Alright, let's go ahead and 0 the Jace. Put these 2 on top. And pass the turn. Alright, that was pretty hot. That is a turn 1 Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's not something you see every day. Keep draw. Alright, let's go ahead and 0 and see if we can hit an untapped land here. You know, it's not an untapped land, but it's really, really close. So we're going to play the tap land. We're going to play As Foretold. They may have the counter. If so, that is fine. We do have a follow-up Narset. Looks like they do have some form of counter here. Just a coatl. Alright, that's fine. Alright, looks like we get to Ancestral Vision ourselves and draw 3. Sweet. Alright, I already used Jace this turn. It's our opponent's turn. So we're hoping to draw in 2, and we can try to Narset into it. Is if we can, off the top, rip into a wheel, we get to shred our opponent's hand. This has Death Touch so quick, it was shocking. Alright, Jace is down to 2, I'm sure. We should always be yielding to that. Alright, so let's cast Narset. See if it resolves. Optim Response. Okay. Less counter spells. Stop it now. Woohoo. Alright, so I'm going to Narset first because then I can still Jace look for it. So Narset finds me Ancestral Vision. Jace 0 finds me a couple lands that I can send back. Oh, should have kept the fetch land. It's okay, I get to still cast this, so let's go ahead and cast this targeting ourselves. Play the fetch land I should have played, and pass turn. Alright, a little unfortunate we didn't get to hit the source we were looking for there, but it looks like our hand has definitely recovered from going all in on that early turn. Going in at Jace again. It's great because it gives us another card with Narset. They might have post-combat Renin 6 as well. Does not look like they have post-combat Renin 6. So we are going to fetch here just to clear the top card of our deck. Just going to grab Island. Gemstone Cavendish does produce red for us. We would love to Miracle at Temporal Mastery after shuffling. So let's go ahead and try to Miracle his Temporal Mastery. See if they have a counter spell for it. Looks like they do. Cryptic Command, counter target spell, draw a card. That totally makes sense. So, since it was now countered, we can Mystic Sanctuary to put it back on top of our library, so we will Miracle it next turn. Uptick Jace on them. Ooh, Blood Moon. No, opponent can have a Blood Moon. So I guess we're going to savor the moment. Which means that we should put the other card, Temporal Master, in our hand with Narset. Alright. We got there. 2-0 against 4-color Snow Control. So we're moving to match 3 with our Invention Turns deck. Alright, let's see what we're playing against here for match 3. We won the die roll, we certainly would. This hand is just not very good, so we're going to mulligan it. Sad to have Gemstone Cavendish in this position, but I think this hand's a keep. Any land allows us to... Oh, 2 lands allows us to. I guess that's still fine. So life total might matter if they're burn or something, so we're going to go ahead and play that tapped. Although if they're burn, we're probably dead already. Bloodstrand seems like a good start. Serum Visions. I mean, my first instinct is Cheerios, but that just can't be correct. That just can't be correct. Let's draw another land here, deck. Land. I was not specific enough. So, while this can be our 4th land, it can't be our 3rd land. So we need untapped blue source next turn. Alright, that's untapped blue source. Looks like they're actually control, which means this Narset's probably not resolving. But we have to try and develop it. Let's opt. We're going to turn off auto yields because it looks like this Narset might be resolving. Alright, fetches. Opts again. Okay. Yeah, if you're opting twice, it makes sense to opt in response to the Narset. If you're opting once, it doesn't really matter. I'll take an Ancestral Vision to cast off of my Fires of Invention next turn. Sad thing is it has to be Fires of Invention or Jace. I think it's better to do Fire of Invention though. Opponent casts Serum Visions. At the moment now I think they're Storm. Number of cantrips they've cast here. Opponent passes through to our turn. We Miracle a Temporal Mastery. Don't mind if we do. Yep, we'd love to. Alright, so now we just suspend divisions and probably just pass the turn. Alright, let's go to our next turn. There's nothing we can cast this turn anyways. We want to draw into lands for Narset. Alright, well, we're playing this Fires now. Oh, cancel. Play that, keep that, float that, pay 2, red, blue. See if Fires resolves. Fires does resolve. I'm going to go ahead and Wheel of Fate. And that'll be the last spell we can cast this turn. Alright, we got there. Let's check the opponent's graveyard, see what they are. Oh my god, it's the mirror match. Oh my god, it's the mirror match. Okay, so opponent is playing Save of the Moments and Time Warps and Mystic Sanctuaries 2. So the mirror match, huh? Force of Negations, almost certainly. Blood Moon's not going to be very good. The mirror match, that's great. Not what I expected at all. The fact that we're on 4 Narset is definitely very good for the mirror match. Fires of Invention, probably cutting down on those. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. I have to cut one more card. Want all the Force Negations. The Poem Mastery there was insane. I bet they're just as excited as we are. If you're watching this video later, hi. I'm sharing it to all the groups. So let's see. I'm going to cut one more Fires of Invention. So opponent will be on the play, and hopefully we have a Gemstone Cavern. We don't, but we have a very reasonable hand, so we're going to keep it anyways. So we're starting by suspending this Ancestral Vision. Alright, so the opponent's the white version. Interesting. We didn't get to see that from the cards they discarded. Additional Jaces are not what we're looking for, really. So let's go ahead and suspend this and pass to the turn. Alright, our turn. We're going to play a tap this and pass the turn. Then we're probably going to try and savor for the land for this Jace. We're always yielding to that. Alright, let's see if we can savor into the untapped land. Well, it doesn't have to be untapped, it just has to be any land. So even tap lands are fine. Cool, we get an extra turn. Was with my voice there, right? Ooh, as foretold. Not exactly what we were looking for. We're going to go ahead and pass to the turn here. See what the opponent's putting down. Interesting. Castle Vantress. Possible the opponent's also missing a 4th land. Nope. Opponent has a 4th land, but it's one that enters tapped. Didn't have to, though, right? Oh, no, that is not an island. Okay. Soulfire Grandmaster. Ah. That's their way to go infinite. Let's go ahead and draw 3 cards here. Play a land here. Fetch. Shock. Do we shock? I think we just play it tapped. Cast as foretold. We could have also set up Temporal Mastery with Jace. Ooh, do they have Spell Pierce here? If so, I'm glad I went with this line. Looks like it. Yep. Nope. Alright, so we're gonna pass to this turn. Discard a Jace. Then next turn, does knowing they have Spell Pierce mean anything? I don't think so. I still think we just Jace try to set up Temporal Mastery and suspend Ancestral Vision. Get going. Alright, let's see what the opponent's doing. 4 mana. Double check and make sure that doesn't go infinite with Saver, and it does not. Fires. Yep. Yep. Time Warp. They get another turn. Fetch String Upkeep. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and yield and let them take a few turns. So they have basically the same combo as us. Alright, so opponent goes infinite in another way. That's pretty spicy. So these sudden shocks have value now. Let's see. Got a Jace. Got a Wheel of Fate. Got a Temporal Mastery. I want all the Force of Negations I have. And probably Days Undoing. I guess 3 Sudden Shock is fine. We don't need 4. We'll keep this one. Alright, let's play this and pass. So depending on what they do on 1, I'm probably going to play Narset on 2 first. Alright, so they are just passing on 1. So let's fetch for a basic island. Still possible they just have Opt. So I'm still going to go ahead and go for the Narset. If they have Spell Pierce, that's fine. We'll get Asphalt down next turn instead. We don't want to yield through the entire turn. They might just be opting. We're getting a tapped land. Alright, it is a red one, so I think we're actually just going to go ahead and pass through the turn, because we kind of want to have Narset around. And if we can get to untap with it, we can try and combo Narset plus Wheel of Fate, which resolves will be quite the knockout punch. So, as foretold. Does this resolve? It does. Alright, well, Narset, let's see what we get. Ancestral Vision, we'll take that. We'll target ourselves to draw 3. Not the worst 3 in the world. Alright, opponent taps 3 for their own Narset. Alright, that's pretty good. That just means this Jace is on mono tick-up duty. Lightning Bolt into their hand. Alright. So let's go ahead and minus this Narset. grab save in the moment. Save in the moment. Take another turn. You don't really have a way to get this Narset off the battlefield. Wheel of Fate. Well, I'll post both down to 1 card. I'd be fine doing that if I had Jace already on the battlefield. I am fine doing it next turn. So opponent's gonna bolt our Narset. More than likely. See what opponent grabs with their Narset. Sudden Shock now kills it, which is great. Fires of Invention. Uh-oh, that's not great. Good news is now they just have to bolt our Narset immediately on our turn, rather than, oh no, they're just going to pass with that up. Alright, that's fine. We're going to fetch here. Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary is going to target Ancestral Vision. Yep. I shouldn't have done that with Narset still in play. That's fine though. Jace. I'm just gonna Cryptic the Jace. Looks like. Crypticing the Jace opponent. I'm bouncing this. Alright, that's interesting. Okay, we're just gonna pass through our turn here. So opponent can remove on our set basically anytime. Fires here means that they can also time warp immediately. That's not good. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. I think if they have the guide, that's just lethal. Yep. I think our only chance to win this game was to Wheel of Fate that 1 turn and just go down to 1 card in hand before developing Jace. Oh well. Alright, time warps, savers the moment. Oh, maybe they don't have the combo yet. It's Cryptic Command, well that's fine. Now let's just draw a card. They still have 2 turns. So they grabbed a Cryptic Command. They can cast it to bounce something and draw a card. Like on our set. Five. Scrying 2. And I think they still have another turn saved up. Yep. They should have scryed during upkeep, probably. That's not great. Good news is they should only be able to 0 this once. Not that good of news, though. Try and time warp to take get a few extra land drops. I think that's the line if we get another turn. Kinda crazy it's a Fires of Invention turns mirror match. Can't be many of us that registered this deck. Alright, opponent plays a land. Looks like they're passing to us. Hey, we got a turn. Let's fetch. Let's just grab Island for now. Ooh, Sudden Shock there is kind of reasonable. Alright, so since this resolved, I think I'm good with just passing. So I'm going to scry 2 here. Almost certainly should have played the Narset over the Asforge hold. Dang, misplaced for days. Because now they get to draw 3 with Jace again. Yep. Twice. Okay, let's see what they do from here. Alright, they have it. Scrying 2. I'm gonna let the Scry 2 resolve. Alright, let's just kill this now. With the added benefit of being able to start F6ing. So, yes. Sudden Shock, kill it dead. Alright, go ahead, opponent. Continue doing your turns. A little unfortunate, we'd prefer to be able to remove this Narset from the board, but very good chance we just die if we leave that on the battlefield. Whereas with this, we can still Narset, find another Sudden Shock, remove Narset, and hope to start going off. See what we got here. Opponent casts Opt. Bottoms. Alright, let's see. The opponent should have at least one turn, I think. Maybe they just have multiple cryptics in their hand. Alright, let's go ahead and start with Narset. Alright, let's minus this Narset. I'll take Force Negation. Another Asforge hold down. Pass the turn. Definitely making me wish that I had shocked the Narset now that I have Force Negation, but hey, might not have this turn if I didn't. Opponent reminding us they also have White Splash. Scrying 2. Castle's kind of powerful. Tap condition isn't too bad either. The fact that we had the show force negation, I'm pretty sure, is kind of bad, but that's fine. Not like Ancestral Vision's doing much for us at the moment anyways. Ult the Narset. I mean, I'd prefer if you didn't. Please? Probably have Cryptic here. No? Second Bolt. Alright, that's also reasonable. Yeah. Second Bolt gets them a turn with this Jace, but luckily we have additional Narset. If we draw an untapped land, we get to Narset into Time Warp. It's kind of nice. I actually will probably lead on the Time Warp if we hit the untapped land. Alright. Said I would and I meant it. Time Warp targeting ourselves. Let's see if they Cryptic it. They do not. Alright, let's keep this one and we'll play an Narset. Can't tap that for red, have to tap it for blue. Narset resolves. Let's look for a card. Save of the Moment's pretty reasonable. Although we can't cast it currently. Pass this turn. Next turn we can go Save in the Moment. Our turn again, obviously. Six Sanctuary is pretty good here. Alright, so that allows us to put Sudden Shock on top of our library. That seems pretty good. Alright, let's savor the moment. Pretty savory. Pass with As Foretold. And move to our next turn. Kind of excited. So this is an uncounterable shock. So let's go ahead and use it to... Let's not cast with As Foretold. I'll tap 2 lands for this one. We might draw some good stuff off this Wheel of Fate. So they get to draw 1 card. We get to draw more than 1 card. Okay. Let's go ahead and save in the moment with the As Foretold. Let's go ahead and look for a card. Let's take Fires of Invention. Fetch. Mystic Sanctuary. Targeting Time Warp. Yes. And I guess we'll just pass to this turn. Alright. So the good news is by not casting fires there, we still have double Sudden Shock available on their turn. We get to Time Warp, targeting ourselves. Alright, we won the match. We won the mirror! Alright, that's pretty awesome. I'm so excited that we won the mirror match against blue-red turns. And they were even a Fire of Invention deck. They were definitely Jeskai though, since they had access to Soulfire Grandmaster. So not what I expected to play against this league, but definitely a fun match. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. This hand tells them exactly what we're on, but puts us only one land away from casting our plethora of 3-drops. Looks like we're getting Thought Seized on 1, so they would have known anyways. Inquisition, Thought Seized, it's all the same. So they're going to take the As Foretold since we have double Narset. If we only had single Narset, there's a chance that they take that instead. We're going to go ahead and play our tap land, even though it gives them perfect information. It gives us access to a turn 2 Narset on the draw, which is kind of exciting. But Gemstone Caverns is such a good card. And these Narsets will help make up for the card disadvantage of 6. Another Narset. I'm loving all the Narsets against Jund. Let's cast this Narset, get our free card. I'm actually going to put Part the Water Veil on the bottom because I do not want that card yet. I'd love to draw an untap land next turn so I can go like Narset plus Suspend Ancestral Vision. That would just be insane. Yeah, that's pretty good for our opponent. We're going to go ahead and bin this Time Warp. We're still a minute from casting that. Alright, Mystic Sanctuary is a tap land, but that's okay. Day's Undoing. Yep, that one. That's the one, and I'm going to cast it. And boom, let's cast it. So our opponent will go to 1 card in hand, and our turn is over. Woohoo! That's one way to try and get back from behind against Jund. So our next turn we will Jace, set up a Temporal Mastery, suspend an Ancestral Vision. We can go ahead and discard one of these Narsets. So the opponent's last card in hand is, they discard Fatal Push, which seems super reasonable to me. Looks like K-Command here. Looks like the opponent deciding not to K-Command, which seems reasonable. Jace 0. Dies to a Bolt now, but that's fine. We'll set Temporal Mastery. Yep, looks like the opponent has some form of Bolt. K-Command. They're just going to K-Command plus tick down. That's fine. We'll discard an Ancestral Vision since we'll be playing one anyways. And I want that one on top and that one on. And we'll go ahead and put this one in the Exile Zone. Give our opponent their turn. So we'll be able to cast a 2-mana extra turn plus a Narset next turn. Alright. Discard a Narset. Draw. It's a miracle. We'd love to. Cast. Play Narset. Keep the higher loyalty one, minus the Narset. Yes, Ancestral Vision. Play this. Our next turn. Always yield. Draw. Yes. That one was actually a miracle, so that one's always sweet. So let's go ahead and tick down Narset again, see if we can find something like As Foretold. Get As Foretold going. Cast with As Foretold targeting ourselves. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and fetch. Mystic Sanctuary, put Ancestral Vision back on top of our library. I was a little worried about this Liliana ultimating. I am no longer worried about them having a turn. So yield to that always. And let's see if the opponent's done playing yet. Not quite yet. So Time Warp ourselves. Ancestral Visions ourselves. Mystic Sanctuary. Okay, now our opponent feels that that's the game. So we want to bring in these Force of Negations and these Blood Moons. Trim 2 Fires of Invention, but probably not more than that. A Temporal Mastery. Do we actually want Force of Negation against Jund? I think the card disadvantage might actually matter. I am going to cut a Wheel of Fate. Alright, let's see how this goes. Game 2 against Jund with us on Invention turns. Alright, it's a handful of 3-drops again. This time, unfortunately, we don't have the Gemstone Caverns to accelerate us, but we're going to go ahead and keep it anyways. So it looks like the Thought Seizing us on 1, Inquisition. That's going to take Blood Moon. Yep. So I like leaving Mystic Sanctuary as a... Oh, they might be Surgically Blood Moons. That seems so reasonable, it's ridiculous. So because they might have Surgicals, we're actually not even going to crack this Flooded Strand until we need the mana. So if they do have Surgical, they get to take away both our Nurse sets, which is pretty sad face. So I guess since they have that, we no longer care if they take away our Flood Strands, and we care about the 2 damage. Ancestral Vision, you're a little bit late. Opponent keep pausing during draw step. Doesn't feel good for us. Alright, let's pass the turn. What's the opponent have? Tapped Barrenmore. Alright, that part feels kind of good for us. Especially since they won't be able to cycle it too much to good effect. We're just going to thin for an island here. Like actual island. We're just hoping to draw less lands. Obviously that plan didn't quite work out, but hey. Alright, I think we actually take the As Foretold here over the Wheel of Fate. I'm taking Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think Jace next turn is just too strong. And I can just fetch up another basic island and leave this Mystic Sanctuary in hand. Okay, opponent takes away whatever we would have had anyway, so it didn't matter. Ironically, we would have preferred that was our draws off of that, but hey. Yeah. See if we can find an As Foretold. We did. Go ahead and cast the As Foretold. Go ahead and cast with As Foretold and draw 3. Let's play Mystic Sanctuary. And we won the match! Alright, we are 3-1 with fires. Not fires. We're calling it Invention turns. So yeah, pretty exciting. Let's see what we go against for our match 5. Let's see if we can finish 4-1 with Invention turns. That would be pretty exciting, I think. We were pretty lucky to rip that Days Undoing game 1, but it was exactly the kind of combo that you put in your deck to have happen. The fact that Days Undoing also removes all the lands from the graveyard was pretty good because it made the onboard Ren and 6 no longer relevant. I shouldn't say no longer relevant, I guess it did kill a Jace. Alright, so let's join match. We won the die roll. And this is a hand we keep. And since we have 2 suspendings, we're okay with suspending one of them and just leaving the Wheel of Fate in our hand. Alright, let's pass to our turn. Fastidious Baloth. I wonder if they are a Primeval Titan deck. They seem like they'd be on Scapeshift Island. But you don't guess based on their name. And we led on an island. Ruh-roh. I mean, our whole deck's island, so it's not like we can play around it. But it looks pretty likely like we're against fish here. So I'd like to slightly thin, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn. So we're going to go ahead and yield until next end step. If they play a white land, we'll turn off our auto yields. Turn off auto yields. Alright. Unsell Mariner's fine. I mean, it's not great, but it resolves. So what we want to hit off the top here is As Foretold. Not quite. So we're going to go ahead and Narset and hope that Narset hits As Foretold. See how this goes. Minus Narset. Grab As Foretold. Pass the turn. Gigs up. Opponent now knows what we're up to. Probably is viling in a 1-drop here, which means Narset is dead or Rooney. Yep. Opponent might go after Narset, might go after us. Ideally, they go after us, obviously. If they send Unsell Mariner at... Alright, well, killing Narset's basically free for them here, so I see no reason why they... Yeah, Narset's down. Spirit seems like it can be kind of a rough matchup for us. Let's see if that turns out to be true. Ironically, if we had drawn As Foretold on the turn I wanted to draw it, everything would have been fine. So let's go ahead and play an As Foretold and pass to the turn. If the opponent has a Lord here, let's see, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, not quite lethal. That is good news. So we get to savor the moment at least twice, because the first time it takes up to 1, we savor the moment. It takes up to 2, we savor the moment. We can't do it twice. Nope. Let's see. It has an additional Drog Skull Captain here. Yep. That looks like 11 damage coming across the plate. I don't think we can... I don't know which draws win the game for us here, but you know what? Maybe my deck does. So I'm going to let my deck figure it out. So let's place these on the stack. I'm going to fetch in response, because we're not getting another turn. Opponent very likely already knows that and is holding up Spellqueller here for our draw 3. See if that's true. Unless I play 4, counter that spell. Pay 3. I pay 3 to draw. I don't think there's any draws in my deck that get me out of this. So we're not going to, then we're going to draw. We're going to Miracle Temporal Mastery. See, this is exactly why we didn't pay for the, although we would have had enough for the 3 for that, and we now were able to get that started. I think we also... See, they have spell quellers to draw into here. But I still think we take this line, so let's go ahead and savor the moment. Our lands won't untap. And let's cast Wheel of Fate, see what we draw into. Okay. Play land, pass to our next turn. I don't think we have any draws that get us out of this, but we keep playing for the science of it. This feels like it's so close. So it's lethal on their side is the problem. I'm not going to reveal we have Days Undoing. Well played by the opponent. We're going to bring in these Thing in the Ices. We're going to cut exactly 1 Temporal Mastery, 2 Fires of Invention, 1 Narset, which unfortunately is very, very sad because that means we can also cut the Days Undoing and keep in Temporal Mastery. So we could bring in Sudden Shocks as interaction, but I don't feel that interacting with their deck is where we want to be. We do want to try, the only interaction I want is a flip Thing in the Ice. So maybe on that basis I want to bring in more instants and sorceries. I can actually buy that and go up 2 Sudden Shocks just because they help me flip Thing in the Ice. Matter of fact, I can picture going up 3 of those because we're cutting a Wheel of Fate if we're cutting 4 Fires of Invention. Let's see what we got here. Playing Spirits. Unfortunate that we didn't get it the turn that I was looking for. If we did, that probably would have been exactly good enough to reduce their hand to 0. And we might have been able to fight back through. Can't always have perfect draws, though. Just waiting for the opponent to figure out what they want to sideboard. We do want to be on the play. We do want to mulligan this hand. If I could guarantee we're hitting 2 lands in a row, I would snap keep this. Since unfortunately I can't, we have to mulligan. This is terrible, so we're going to keep it. I'm going to put Island, Plude Delta, cancel, Steam Vents on the bottom. Done. We're going to play Plude Delta and pass. Unfortunately, we're going to shuffle Steam Vents back in. But we have Sudden Shocks on our deck now, so we definitely need access to red. So if they have Vial on one. Looks like it. Mausoleum Wonder. That's totally manageable for the deck with 5 mana spells in it. That's a rough one. I like it though. Mausoleum Wonder is a cool card. Alright. That pays the surprise tax pretty well as long as this stays 1 power. So we're looking to draw into some things that triggered this thing. So the opponent knows that Fetch Shocking is no longer free because it makes Thing in the Ice a 2-turn clock. And it's a little awkward because we're low on resources. If we get the opportunity to, as foretold, a wheel, we will because we are so far behind compared to the opponent. Looks like they might have a Rattle Chains here. Or a Supreme Phantom. No, it's a Rattle Chains. So it's just speeding it for the extra damage. And we can't punish them for that. It'd be hilarious if we had Gut Shot. I'm sure the opponent tanked about it for a moment. There's a chance that our deck does run it. We're crazy enough to be playing turns. We could be playing anything. Okay, well, there's the As Foretold, so there's the first half of our puzzle. Let's get that on the battlefield. And pass to the turn. So, Ancestral Recall would be a very nice draw. I would very much like to draw one of the 4 Ancestral Recalls that are in our deck. See what the opponent plays here. It might be a Deputy of Detention. Drog Skull Captain. Okay, looks like the opponent's putting us on a 2-turn clock. They'll swing for 6 this turn and likely 10 next. Because remember, Mausoleum Wanderer pumps whenever you play a Spirit. Let's see what we can try to stitch together here. So let's save in the moment. We get an extra turn, but we don't get to untap our land, so it's half an extra turn. We do get to uptick our As Foretold. Unfortunately, all their threats are flying, so another Lord still does kill us. See if we can get a draw. Nope. So we just pass this turn. Well, interesting they didn't counter that with Mausoleum Wanderer. That probably means that they just have lethal this turn. So another Lord does it, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. Another Lord kills us, +1. Yep. Well played, opponent. Alright, so we ended 3-2 with As Foretold turns. Thank you so much for Fires of Invention turns. Fires of Invention, As Foretold, Ancestral Recall turns. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like videos like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alex here with Lucksack Games, telling you to have an awesome day.